Overreaction Monday. Colts are cooked. Do they get aggressive and try to get back in the first for a quarterback?
No.
Give Sauce back. Like returning a pair of shoes.
Chris Ballard walks up to Darren Mucci at the combine and goes, "Hey, buddy, I got the receipt right here." Chris Ballard's basically the dude from draft day.
I want my picks back, all of them.
The dumbest phone call in film history.
I'm sorry, that deal's now off the table.
What? And I want the returner, too.
I need a punt returner.
And everyone's like, whoa!
You're out of your mind.
None of it makes any sense.
Welcome to the opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Trevor, Sikkema, Connor Rogers here with you guys for another Pimp Your Franchise edition. Connor,
yep.
three years in the making. We're long overdue. We're late, as the chat said, because we were 2 minutes late here on the show, but we're also late to fixing this franchise. We've been doing this series for, this year 3 now of fixing your franchise, and we have yet to do the Cleveland Browns. So highly anticipated, highly requested, and I'm excited to dig into it with you, buddy. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I can't wait. Cold open, putting a smile on my face. Shout out to the man behind the glass, the cook, Mr. Tyler Cook.
Unbelievable.
10 out of 10. Love to see it. It's that movie. It's in there with the greatest bad movies of all time.
You think it's worse than I do?
I think it's one of the worst sports films ever made. That it's so bad, I will occasionally watch pieces of it to laugh at how bad it is. And it's not, the problem is, it's not like they went low budget on the cast. It has a real cast.
No, they did not. You're right.
It's like there's real money behind this movie, and it's just so absurdly bad in what they tried to accomplish that it's so good and funny.
I love it. I don't love it, but it is a tradition to watch Draft Day, I feel like, at some point every year, which people will probably yell at me for because they'll say, "Hey, Trev, instead of watching Draft Day again this year, why don't you watch literally any Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
Hear me out.
One a year."
NFL SC.
Yeah.
Draft Day watch along.
That could hit. The off-season content. I think we gotta write this down on the Google sheet.
Chat, I think the chat's in.
Yeah,
Discord's in.
We gotta go. Oh, dude. First of all, before we really dive into this, because we got a lot that we're getting to today. Obviously, if you were here and you're a Browns fan and you're new, what's up? Welcome to the Addicts. Welcome to the NFL SC show. What we're going to do here on the show is we're going to take a look at everything with the Cleveland Browns, why they've struggled over the last couple of years. We're going to look at Andrew Berry. We're going to look at Kevin Stefanski, kind of put those guys in their tenures under the microscope. We'll look at the roster. I will do my best to explain everything that I have learned over the last 72 hours about how the Browns and Andrew Berry do the contract situation, sort of project the roster, and then we'll give you a mini Browns 3-round mock draft at the end of all this. But before we do that, shout out to the OGs in the NFL SC Discord. Within 24 hours of launching the Discord, we already have over 1,000 people in there. I absolutely love it.
Crazy.
You guys are... This is the best. This is so cool. This is exactly what we had envisioned for the Discord. So many guys talking everything. NFL draft, firing the memes off from the hip. But Connor, you know what I love the most about our Discord channel and the way that Tyler and his buddy Major set it up, which shout out Major, who is a friend of Tyler, our producers, who put in a lot of work making that Discord as organized as it was right off the bat. I love the team-specific channels. We have team-specific channels for all 32 teams in the NFL, and I checked this morning. There are people already talking about teams and draft strategies and everything in every single team channel, which is dope. So shout out to everybody who joined the NFL SC Discord. If you guys want to get in on the NFL SC Discord, we got the link in the channel to this YouTube video, and we'll post the link on all of our socials as well. We'd love to see you there.
Man, it's really cool to see. I got to dive in this afternoon to say hello. Yes, Trevor and I and the chef will be in there, despite some rumors and wonderings if we will. Yes, it's our Discord. We'll be around. We'll say hello. We'll chat. I think my thing is I'm just going to jump into random teams at random times.
You should. That's what I've been doing.
Like,
over the morning.
Like, I'm just going to give my thoughts on what the Panthers should do with one of their day 3 picks at some point, and then just leave, and then go jump to let's go see what the Commanders got.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
that's the beauty of it.
Round 7. That's the beauty of it. It's going to be really cool, man. just another sign of this community growing, and it blows my mind. And I'm really grateful for it. And I'm also really grateful to finally break our drought and then pimp the Browns today. I don't know how we haven't done this. It's crazy.
Well, it was.
I guess they haven't been that bad.
Well, that's the thing, is that
Like,
it's been an interesting ride with Kevin Stefanski. And
right, he's won Coach of the Year twice.
He's won Coach of the Year twice. Let's pull it up. Let's get to the first slide. Let's just do it. Let's dig right into it. Let's talk about it here. When you look at the slide here of how the Cleveland Browns have done, I think the first year that we did NFL Stock Exchange was that 2023 season, right? So they go 11
during an NFL season, yeah, because in the pod launch.
Do we want to launch it in January of 22? Or no.
God, how do we not know this?
When did we launch this podcast?
I think it's January 22. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was.
All right. So January of 22. So then they go 7-10, which isn't that terrible.
That's
then the next
usually
year,
too good for fixture. And I think it was let me check.
And it was one of those years where we didn't do a lot of them, if I remember correctly. Like, we had just started the series. And then the following year, Stefanski wins Coach of the Year. They go 11-6, so we weren't going to do it then. We could have absolutely gotten to them last year. And I think that just, poor scheduling probably on our part is the reason why we didn't get here. But now we've got the Cleveland Browns, a team that has historically needed pimping and fixing, that we have not gotten to them yet. And here we are getting into their franchise now. See what we can do here. 2025, they're 3-10 right now. Just lost to the Tennessee Titans. Not great. Sitting there at number 4 overall in the draft order, but because of the trade down last year in the first round, they have an extra first-round pick as well. So they got 2 first-round picks to work with. They got a lot of draft ammunition. The year before, like I said, they went in 2024, they went 3-11 as well. Really just this story of the Cleveland Browns is not being able to find out where their true franchise quarterback is. You thought with them to picking number 1 overall, or in Baker Mayfield's draft, that Baker Mayfield was going to be the guy. I think that there are a lot of factors that go into the Mayfield era of Mayfield, for as much fun as it is to root for him and as fun of a ceiling as Mayfield has, he is a up and down sort of a gunslinger quarterback. And I think you do have to have a team around him to sort of balance those things out. And I think for a couple of years that he was with Cleveland, they just didn't have the right team around him. Obviously, he leaves and he bounces around the NFL. He lands in Tampa Bay, and he's done great things in Tampa Bay. I mean, he started off hot this year, was an MVP candidate, but now you see the other side of the coin where Mayfield's really struggling right now. And I feel like the Browns just did not love what they were able to accomplish with Baker Mayfield, and I think there's a lot of other things that go into it. But all that to say, like, quarterback, man, like that's everything about this franchise, and I think that's the total story of this franchise of how they got to this point.
Yeah, it is. It's maybe trying to, not overcorrect a mistake, because you can never overcorrect quarterback. It's the most important position in the sport. You got to make it happen. And there was a lot of drama there with an injured Baker Mayfield at the end. Obviously, Watson was a mistake, and the contract with it was a mistake. And since then, they've been trying to balance paying insane quarterback money on the cap while trying to fix the position as well. And they've had some stop gaps. They've had some younger guys they've given a look. So you're right. There's going to be a larger Stefanski combo on this show. It feels like, and I do some Cleveland radio. So I see that I follow a lot of those guys and keep up with the clips. It feels like there's a lot of animosity or just loss of faith in Stefanski over there, where I could be wrong, but it feels like a lot of the fan base over there is kind of leaning towards moving on from him this year. Mm-hmm. I think he's a really good coach in this league. I actually think he's a good enough coach that he's one of those guys that I think he'd get another head coaching job in the same offseason he's fired. But you could also feel that way that, both sides need a fresh start, and that's going to be a fascinating conversation with this organization and him.
Yeah, obviously the Deshaun Watson, like everything that went in with Deshaun Watson was it defines this franchise as of late, right? The contract that he signed, which we'll dig into the contract, because to be honest with you guys, like from the Browns' point of view, the contract itself, like the money wise, the contract itself actually really was not that bad for the plan that they have had for it over the last, handful of years. the problem is that obviously you go after a quarterback who is in the situation that Deshaun was currently in with the 22 sexual assault allegations against him. That is that is a massive issue on its own. And then from the play and the record side, Deshaun's been bad. Deshaun's been bad and he's been hurt. So this whole scenario has completely clouded what the Cleveland Browns have been able to do. And it's been a major reason why I think that they're still sitting here right now in their current situation, which we'll pull up the offensive grades. Look at the offensive grades for this team right now, Connor. 32nd overall in PFF offensive grade, 31st in passing grade, 30th in rushing grade, 32nd in pass blocking grade, 24th in run blocking grade. You look at their EPA per play overall, it's 31st in the NFL. EPA per pass, it's 28th. EPA per, I should say run actually at the end of it, 32nd.
Yeah.
This is
that's jarring under
no
Stefanski.
Doubt about it, the worst offense in the NFL. And I would have said that the only team that could have competed against him was the Titans, and the Titans just beat them.
Right,
So
right.
I can comfortably say that this is the worst offense in the NFL.
And it's wild because they have a good defense that you think would be giving them some advantageous opportunities at times. And, you know, they were so limited under, and we'll get to the defense here in just a second as you see it right there. They were so limited on what they can and can't do under Dylan Gabriel. Now they have Shedeur playing, who I think has been better than Gabriel. It's just a matter of Shedeur could string together a couple more big starts down the stretch. But yeah, let's get back to the defense here because you can see the contrast of how bad they are on offense to the fact that
this is insane.
This is insane.
The difference. If they had a average offense in the NFL, they are walking away with this division title this year.
That's right. Especially this year where this division, with all of its injuries, has been so uninspiring. The Ravens have been one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL. Joe Burrow got hurt. The Steelers with Rodgers have been kind of meandering around to what they usually are. They'll be what, 9-8 or 8-9? I mean,
they'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So, and this could have been Cleveland's division to win if they had any sort of offense at all whatsoever. And they just don't.
And they don't. And they have, ironically, a player that might set a significant record with Myles Garrett chasing the single-season sack record. They're obviously well coached. They're aggressive, and they have young talent at every level. Mm-hmm. The season they've gotten out of Carson Schlesinger. I think Mason.
Yeah,
he might win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
The draft that they just had was really, really good.
An excellent draft.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to? I mean, we can go to that slide.
We really should because
now if you want to.
I think this paints a one of the positive pictures of the Browns, because they traded out of number 2 and they got more capital for not just this year but the 2026 draft as well. You got Mason Graham, who I think is going to be a really nice player for them for a long time. Mm-hmm. Schlesinger has been awesome. Judkins, I think, looks really good. Fannin is, especially with Shedeur finding his role. I did not like the Dylan Gabriel pick at all. It made zero sense to me, and that's kind of played out the way we thought. Mm-hmm. And I think Shedeur in the 5th round, whatever you think of what comes with him, the Tebow-esque spotlight, I thought Shedeur was a top 50 player in the draft, and they got him in the 5th round.
Right,
so,
right.
It's a good draft. Yeah.
You gave this a B when we did the draft grade show. I gave it a C-. And the reason why I gave it a C- is because I just didn't really like how they navigated it. Mason Graham was a top 8 player for me for sure. I think he was a top 5 player for me. I think he was like number 4 overall on my board. So I like the value of obviously them getting Mason Graham, but I don't love the idea of them passing up Travis Hunter to do it. And I talked about that in the draft grades episode. Travis Hunter was my number 1 player in this draft, and you had the ability to draft him and you didn't. And they have an extra 1st round pick, so obviously they got good value for what they did, but it's not like normally when you look at a trade like that and you say, hey, we traded back, we got an extra 1st round pick, we got a really good football player. Normally I would tell you, oh, okay, like that's an excellent deal, but you lost Travis Hunter to be able to do it, and I thought he was the best player in the draft. Schlesinger, Quinshon Judkins, I liked both of those picks. I wasn't as convinced that Harold Fanning Jr. was going to be phenomenal in the pros the way that he was at Bowling Green.
I had questions as well.
I have been proven wrong in that regard. Harold Fanning Jr. has been awesome.
I've been owned.
I've been owned online. I love the Dylan Sampson pick. But then, to be honest with you, the reason why I gave this a C- is because I thought the quarterback logic was dumb.
Like, I was like, there's no denying that, okay?
I was like, I don't know what you're doing here. Gabriel in the 3rd round, okay, that doesn't really do anything for you. And then you took Shedeur in the 5th. And again, when we watched them draft Shedeur, I don't want to put too much stock into it, but they didn't look like they just drafted future QB1. They weren't celebrating in the war room. It made me feel like there was a call from ownership that was essentially like, hey, draft a kid. You better take this kid with the next pick. We allowed you to pick who you wanted. You got Dylan Gabriel. You got who the coaching staff wanted. And now we're the owners. We're calling our shots. Shedeur's still there. Go get him. Because without that being the case, how in the world did the rest of it make sense? How do you watch what Dylan Gabriel did last year and what Shedeur did last year?
I don't know.
And think that you should have drafted Gabriel 2 rounds ahead of Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur was on your board at all whatsoever, you would have picked him ahead of the 5th round. So it's hard. The reason why I gave him a C- is because it's hard for me to give them credit for something that I feel like they just stumbled into. So that's why I was harsh about it at the time when we were doing draft grades.
Well, I don't think that argument has evaporated, right? It's because it's been a bumpy road this year for the Browns in this quarterback situation, because I think you'd rather have the longer look at Shedeur than a look at Dylan Gabriel that told you everything everyone thought, that he looks like a guy that is probably a backup quarterback at the NFL level. And when you take a guy in the 3rd round with the top 100 pick and you insert him as the starter eventually throughout the season, I think there's some expectations there. Not great the eye test was not great. And it was nothing surprising to anybody that watched Dylan Gabriel coming out of college. And like you said, the problem when they took Shedeur was you're sitting there and you're going, is everybody on the same page here? Like, did the owner, head coach, and GM all come together and say, yeah, we're also going to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round? That was something where I was kind of looking at like, all right, this is an organizational, problem potentially here. And they need to all get on the same page with that going forward.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, like the chat is saying, and they're kind of cooking me, and I mean, the way that it has played out, this draft is doing a lot of heavy lifting for Andrew Berry right now. How well these guys are playing right now, I think, is doing a lot of heavy lifting, because Andrew Berry, their general manager for the Cleveland Browns, we could pull up his slide if we want to next, just a little bit of a background on him. He is somebody who, and the contracts is something that I can't wait to get into a little bit later in this episode. He is there because he's sort of a wizard when it comes to navigating the salary cap, player contracts, all that kinds of stuff. He's got a bachelor's degree in economics, master's degree of computer science from Harvard. He was a Colts scouting assistant from 2009 to 2010. Then he was just a regular scouting assistant for them in 2011, scouting coordinator from 2012 to 2015. Then the Browns hired him as the VP of player personnel from 2016 to 2018, president of football ops in 2019, and obviously he's been the general manager since 2020. He was paired up with Kevin Stefanski, so Kevin Stefanski's been there since 2020 as well. And to be honest, Tyler, if you want to go back to the 2020 draft, if we could go back to that one, because then we'll just go in chronological order here. This is the first draft that Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski had. Jedrick Wills obviously did not pan out for them. Grant Delpit has been great for them, still an impact starting safety. He is still on the team. Jordan Elliott, Jacob Phillips, Harrison Bryant after that, guys who weren't around there in 2020. But I think Jedrick Wills, not a hit. Grant Delpit, hit, okay.
Got an extension, Grant Delpit.
Right. You go to 2021, Greg Newsome and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who I liked both of those guys. And Newsome just got traded in basically a swap with Tyson Campbell. So Tyson Campbell's there now, and Greg Newsome's with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's like, okay, I'll still kind of count that for you a little bit. Maybe not a full win, but I'll count that for you. Owusu-Koramoah looked great before the neck injury.
Yeah, he was flying around.
Neck injury sucks. Could be a career-altering injury. I sure hope it's not. I hope he's back in 2026. Anthony Schwartz first there in the 3rd round was a miss. Tommy Togiai. The rest of this draft, I think, was a miss for them.
Togiai
playing well now.
Yeah.
He's playing well now.
I know. It's kind of
Didn't
funny.
play well for them.
That's the problem is every time I watch this Texans defense, I see Tommy Togiai making plays.
Right.
The problem is it ain't for the Browns.
Right. 2022, the year after. Martin Emerson, who was good for them his rookie year, I think. Rookie year he was good. So no first round pick in this draft. Because this is the first year that they didn't have a first round pick because of the Deshaun trade. So Martin Emerson was good for them. He struggled, and now he's hurt. But I
was going to say, he hasn't played all year, right?
Yeah, he got hurt in training camp this summer.
Had to be.
Yeah, early on.
He tore his Achilles.
Yeah. Alex Wright, David Bell in the third, hated that. Perrin Winfrey I didn't like.
God, I forgot about David Bell. It's amazing when you go through these drafts and names that we spent so much time having discourse about.
Yeah.
And then it goes poof in the NFL so fast.
Yeah.
Crazy.
David Bell also it was one of the lower tier athletes we've seen from the wide receiver position, and they picked him with a top 100 pick.
Yeah, man, that was
that.
Yeah, that was something.
2023, your boy Cedric Tillman.
Yep.
Your boy Siaka Ika.
Yep.
Your boy DeJuan Jones.
I wouldn't go that. That's where we stop. That's where we stop.
Isaiah McGuire, who is good for them still. Really good run defender. Solid defensive end for them. Luke Whippler, who, starting center now that Ethan Posic's out for the year, so maybe he'll, turn out to be a good investment there from them. 2024, Mike Hall Jr., who's flashed a little bit, but was basically replaced by Mason Graham and Malik Collins, and he was a healthy scratch for the first couple of games this season. So was Zach Zinter. So I think both of those picks were, if you're a healthy scratch on game day, that's not ideal, even if you're drafted outside of the first round to maybe be a depth player.
And Hall had off the field issues pop up too, I believe, right? I want to make sure
I am not sure.
Misremembering that. Yes, he had a domestic dispute in August of 24 that he was arrested for. He had a 30-day suspended jail sentence.
Yeah, I did not remember that.
Yes, so
obviously not ideal there either. And then you had this patch draft, 2025, which was very, very good. So there's not a lot to hang your hat on when it comes to the draft classes for Andrew Berry. And I think that there are some people who, like you said at the top of the show, I think there are some people out there who want Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski fired. I'm going to be honest with you, Connor. I'm not really going to go about this exercise getting rid of either of those guys because I don't think they're going anywhere. What do you think about that?
I'm very 50-50. I don't think Andrew Berry's going anywhere. I would be, that one would shock. By the way, I just have to say, Cade York being a 4th round pick and being cut after 1 year, let's not let that one go.
Yeah, good call out. Good call out.
I mean, you draft a kicker in the 4th round and you cut him after a year. That's a colossal screw up. Colossal. But, sorry, back to your point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Stefanski, I almost wonder if with Stefanski there's a mutual parting of ways. He can't be enjoying this. He can't.
No,
dude.
I don't know if he is. Yeah.
It's just every single decision he makes is scrutinized over Shedeur. And I get the 2-point conversion combo last week. I get it. But the week or 2 weeks before that, the same thing they were running with Judkins getting the direct snap that they ran with Gabriel.
Dude, the 2-point conversion from this past weekend goes into kind of what we were just talking about how I felt like it was kind of hard to give them credit for the Shedeur draft at the time because it didn't feel like they wanted to draft him. And you go to this game, they're down 31. They're down 31-17 in this game. Okay? They climb back. They're a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game. And you took the guy who got you there off the field. How you doing that? To me, it just says that they don't trust him.
You don't trust him.
So that again goes back to How did Shedeur get on this team in the first place?
Well, yeah, and just think of the logic, right, Trevor? You're dealing with, obviously, Deshaun Watson has the injury and all kinds of issues, but even putting him aside, you have on your roster a guy that you think could start for you at the beginning of the year if you need him to in Flacco. You traded for Kenny Pickett in March. So now you have Kenny Pickett on the roster.
I forgot that they traded for Kenny Pickett.
So you go into the draft and you take Dylan Gabriel in round 3. Listen, I thought that was an absolute joke taking him there. But all that aside, I mean, I've missed on a ton of quarterbacks. Like, that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But that you're sitting there when they do that and you're like, man, it's not what I would have done. But their plan is veteran in Flacco, probably a backup that we hope we could squeeze more upside out of in Kenny Pickett. But they traded for him. Like, that was a decision by them.
Mm-hmm.
And then young guy on day 2 that we want to develop. That's not a wild NFL roster by quarterback standards. But when you go, you know what? In the 5th round, let's take the quarterback prospect with the biggest spotlight on him since Tim Tebow. It makes no sense at all from a coaching standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
None at all. It doesn't align because if you loved Shedeur, you would have took him in the 3rd round at pick 94.
Yeah.
So someone's not on the same page here. And I think if Kevin Stefanski has the chance of a mutual parting ways, he'd be like, you know what? See you later.
Fredo says in the chat, ownership came out and said that Sanders was not their pick. It was the GM that made that call. One, I don't really trust anything that anybody says publicly about those things. I just really don't. I think that there are further future actions that you could see that would have more truth to that story. And even if that was the case, like, a quarterback selection for you, whether it's in the 1st round or round 5, has to be a united pick between the general manager and the and the head coach. It has to be. Because what if it works out? What if it doesn't? You guys can't be split on the decisions and the leeway that you are giving the quarterback position. You have to be in unison. So I hate that strategy anyways. It's like, no, we gave this to the GM. The GM got to make this pick. That's a terrible process too.
Yeah, it doesn't answer a lot of our questions here.
No, it does not.
If anything, I ask more questions.
I'm always asking questions with this franchise, unfortunately.
Like you said, though, after all of that, it's a good draft.
That's
what's mind-blowing. It's not the draft
I'm
questioning. It's what was the plan at the most important position.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what's going to be funny in all of this? If at the end of the day, they just kind of, it all works out and Shedeur actually ends up being like the guy. They can make their starter.
I think one of the mock drafts that we're going to do at the end of the show is, of course, I think we have to do one where Shedeur is the guy moving forward, and then we'll do one where he's not.
That's exactly right.
You got to analyze. You sort of got to analyze where you're at. So I don't think Andrew Berry's going anywhere. I don't, and the reason why is because we'll get into, again, when we get into the salary cap, I'll explain about this a little bit more. But the way that the Browns do contracts, who's the Moneyball dude? What's his name? Paul
DePodesta?
Yes.
He's now the GM of the Rockies, I think, recent news.
Right, but he
went back to baseball.
He was with the Browns for, was it Barry's entire tenure, or was it just like the last couple of years?
No, he was there. He was there for a long time.
So he was there for a long time.
I'll give you the timelines right now.
Okay.
He left baseball for the Browns in January of 2016 when he was hired to be their chief strategy officer.
Okay, yeah. So
he got a 5-year extension in 2021, and then he just went back to baseball about a month ago.
So the Browns hired Andrew Berry to be their VP of player personnel in 2016. So that same year. So very clearly,
AKA Jonah Hill.
Been the direction.
Jonah Hill making the Deshaun Watson trade is quite the sight.
That they have been going in. And the way that they do contracts is that, just to short version of it now before we dive in a little bit deeper later. Essentially what they do is, like, I'm just going to use round numbers here. Let's say that they sign a guy to a $100 million deal for 5 years and it's fully guaranteed. The cash spending of that deal could be evenly distributed, where the cash spending that the athlete will get every year is $20 million. For 5 years, it's just $20 million. The cap spending could be completely different than that. You can restructure the deal, you can add void years to it, and that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns have done. The Cleveland Browns, like the New Orleans Saints, like the Philadelphia Eagles, and do the Niners do this as well? Like the Saints and the Eagles for sure, they add a lot of void years to their players. And the reason why they do that is because they continue to restructure, and it's a little bit of kicking the can down the road and making these contracts a little bit more backloaded. But the whole point is that they are playing the math game that the cap is going to go up 8% on an average every single year. So if you keep moving the salary cap back of the players that you are paying for by using void years, as long as you are keeping them on the roster and you like these players and you're not cutting them to then accelerate the prorated signing bonus, you then are essentially taking up less cap space with the same exact number that you're paying the player of cash every single year. So it is a really aggressive, and I would say like cutting edge way to navigate the salary cap, to be honest with you. And the Cleveland Browns, Jack Duffin, who does a great job covering the Browns from a salary cap perspective, yes. I've written a lot, or I've read a lot of his articles on this. Essentially, if you have an owner that is willing to be an owner that spends cash up front, the Browns have spent more than everybody in free agency over the last 5 years. And yet, they're always cap compliant, never have any issues. And people are going to point to the Deshaun deal, and we'll get to that in a second. But all of that to say about Andrew Berry, if you fire Andrew Berry, you have to basically hire somebody who also does this same thing. Because if you don't, you are going to be screwed for the next couple of years as you eat a ton of dead cap and then switch your salary cap strategy to something else. So that's kind of why I think he's safe, at least for another year, and until, you know, I don't think they're sick of how he's doing things yet. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, I don't get that vibe either. It doesn't feel like it. With Stefanski, you could see frustrations in game with their roster building strategy that the fan base and the media has with him. With Berry, who probably has the trust of ownership too, right? That's what some people miss sometimes, is like a guy like this could also have the ear of the owner and the trust of the owner.
Right.
And could get the opportunity to hire another head coach that he aligns with as well. So yeah, I'm with you that I don't think they'll move on from Berry. This is one of those rare times where they can definitely move on from the head coach and they don't need to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah. So, all right, I want to get into Stefanski. I want to hear what you think about sort of where he currently is and some potential guys that you think can replace him. But before we get to that, this NFLSC betting segment, folks, brought to you by our friends over at DraftKings Pick 6. All right, keeping this one topical. Shedeur Sanders, current line for him, over 16.5 completions this week. It's a number I like. You guys can see more using the PFF player prop tool. But hey, that's one line that I like. Every yard, every sack, every interception, every touchdown with pick six. DraftKings' newest game, every snap can turn into a big-time payout. This isn't just watching the game, folks. This is playing to win. Here's how it works. You take the stat that I just mentioned there. Shedeur Sanders, over 16.5 completions this week against the Chicago Bears. That's one. You got to get one more. So it's 2 or more player stats. The better your picks, the bigger your payouts. That's simple for you guys. Pick 6 gives you more upside than any of those other pick'em sites. It's available in most states, including Texas, California, Georgia, Missouri, and so much more. Go bold, go big. Start stacking your wins with Pick 6 from DraftKings, where every pick, can pay off huge. And here's the kicker. New DraftKings customers bet just $50 or can get $50 in Pick 6 credits with $5 entry on your first Pick 6 set. You know the game. Now you can make it pay. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now. Use the promo code PFF. That's promo code PFF. You play just $5 and get 50 in Pick 6 credits. Make the call, ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings. Pick 6, the crown is yours. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help us available for problems with gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions do vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus is awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Ends December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. What are you laughing at?
The person in the chat, Joseph Napoli,
Yeah.
who said Trevor learned how to read from Trevor in GTA 5.
I don't know what that means. I didn't play GTA 5.
That you might be the only person in the world your age that didn't play GTA 5 because you play video games.
Yeah. I just play
Are you just FPS only?
pretty much at that point in time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. I just like playing with friends, you know? Like even Madden. Now that we have a discourse, to be honest, discourse.
We're going to have a discourse about Madden.
We always have a discourse. Now that we have a Discord, I am looking forward to setting up either NCAA or Madden franchises where we actually get to play with a lot of people, because I can run a Madden franchise by myself, but I've been playing Madden for like 20 years. So I don't really find much joy out of it. You know, like, oh,
Right.
cool. Yeah, I won the Super Bowl. Great.
No,
like I
gives me
don't
nothing.
care. I like to play video games with friends. That's why I still play video games. So
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Like I've told you before, and I would love to do this in our NFLSC Discord. I'm in an EA CFB dynasty now since they brought the game back. That's just, we don't stop. I'd love to get one going in our NFLSC one. This would be the only thing that would get me back into Madden. I probably haven't played Madden consistently since, I don't know, 2011?
you haven't played Madden?
Like consistently. Like more than like, I'll
Actually,
play a game once every three years. But I play EA CFB every 2 to 3 days. I don't know. It feels like it didn't change. And like you said, you have to play with friends to actually get any enjoyment out of it.
Pork said in the chat, Connor's choking. I assume on the food that you were eating.
I was eating during the
So I have to
commercial break.
drag out the ad read.
That's good observation. I was eating during the break. It's been a day.
The
Did you hear Pete Alonso left a
The
mess?
second that the camera switched, I heard you unwrapping the Uncrustable.
I didn't even finish it. Pathetic performance
Damn,
for me.
that's tough.
Pathetic performance for me.
Are we reading some super chats?
Yeah, I
Wanna fire
kind of
up some
forgot
super
they
chats?
existed, so let's go. Find a cure. Thank you for the super chat. Connor, could we get your genuine Jets fan opinion, not as an analyst, of the Pats' resurgence back to relevancy after only 5 years? So here's my honest opinion. So not as an analyst, because my analyst opinion would be, one, I loved them hiring Mike Vrabel, and I loved Drake May. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, this sucks. Like, no, part of this job is hopefully being right once in a while, and I like that. As a fan, it's not just a Patriots thing. What sucks as a fan is the Patriots had their run, arguably the greatest run ever, as all teams have to, dipped back down for a while, and found their next franchise quarterback and franchise coach, while the Jets had stunk during most of that great run they had and still stink. That's what stinks as a fan. And it's not just the Patriots. Like the Bills had a lot of their moments. The Dolphins, maybe not as much, but they've been better than the Jets. That's what stinks as a fan, is like, damn, they already had their rebuild.
Right.
And figured it out. And the Jets just keep having their rebuilds. Just keep having them over and over again. It's like the man pushing the boulder up the hill and you almost get to the top and fall back down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like as a fan. It sucks.
It's tough.
I feel really bad for it because now that I cover the team on game days, my enjoyment is like the fans being engaged and having a lot to talk about and being into the show. And like, I hate seeing them so defeated and deflated. That's the toughest part.
Patrick, $10 super chat. Retired from teaching and coaching in May. Wow. Salute to you.
Congrats, I think.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
Recently added this show to my new hobbies. You whippersnappers.
That's a good one.
Do a great job. Good job. Good job, Patrick. That was a good one. Got our ass. He did.
Damn, Double U Sports Media said I'm trauma dumping on the pod.
Wait, why?
Because of my Jets.
Oh, you are. You're
Yeah.
trauma. Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that W was trauma dumping, and I was wondering where that was coming from.
Preston, thank you for the super chat. Topic suggestion. Take every other team y'all didn't pimp and give some brief thoughts about what they should prioritize this offseason going forward.
Oh.
Like a car wash pimping.
Well, this goes into what we talked about last Friday when we were planning the rest of the show schedule out.
Believe it or not, people, we have a real meeting.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Every week.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys have grown this podcast so much that we actually have to plan things now.
Which stinks.
But stinks.
We'll do it.
No, we love you guys. We do have some content planned for the non-pimp your franchise teams that we will do over the next couple of weeks, and it involves the team building stuff, addressing where they can get a little bit better, whether it's get over the hump into the playoffs, into the conference title games, Super Bowl, whatever that is. Josh, $5, please pimp the Browns so I can finally see my dad smile. We're doing our best. We are doing our best here.
That's a good one. To get back to the original Jets super chat, I don't think I told this story. No, I was on the phone with my dad yesterday, and I'm just letting him empty out every thought of the Jets getting stomped from the Dolphins on Sunday. Like, just empty it out. And then I thought he was done, and we were going to go on to the next thing. And then instead he goes, and I guess Edwin Diaz is gone from the Mets. Like, he just he didn't even transition. He just went Jets right into Mets seamlessly.
Well, we did the preview show on the PFF channel, and
Dalton.
A minute before we
no.
went live was the Pete Alonso news.
Oh,
and so he was kind of crashing out. Yeah. He was keeping it together decently well, but I could tell he was.
You see it in his
eyes.
He gives it away. Jack Adams, thank you for the super chat. I watch draft day every morning before day one of the NFL draft. I don't think that's a crazy tradition. Listen, I watch and like bad movies. I'm not saying that.
I thought the super chat was going to say watches it every morning.
Every morning before the day starts.
Libertarian Sasquatch $2 super chat. Draft day is like a male Hallmark movie to me.
Excellent. That's exactly
true.
right.
Yeah.
Don Johnson.
That and Pain and Gain.
Well, Pain and Gain is upper echelon. Great. That's a great bad movie. It's not even that bad of a movie. The main team on draft day was the Browns, so it's a perfect time for the discussion.
It is.
You're right. Pain and Gain.
Spark $2 super chat.
I'm hot.
I tweeted the morning of my wedding because I was, of course, firing off memes.
Oh yeah,
the morning of my wedding.
I saw this.
I tweeted the clip from Mark Wahlberg where he's freaking out and he's stressed out and he's just like, I gotta get a pump, and then he just walks over and he just starts like hammering curls out, and The Rock just sits down next to him. He's like,
"Yep,
yeah,
get it out. Yep,
good, yeah." And that's pretty much what this podcast genuinely is.
I actually think Pain and Gain will age like really nicely.
You think?
Yeah, I think the generation a couple behind us one day will find it, and they'll be like, "Damn, this is a good one. This is a really good one." Spark Scouting.
Yep.
Give me a draft day pimp your franchise, boys.
I don't know if we again, like, if us doing the watch along episode for draft day would be us basically pimping the movie because we would get to talk about it.
Reacting.
Alex $10 super chat, pimping the Browns, get Louis Vuitton gear and big diamond watches for everybody on the team, then pray to any higher power for good QB play in the future. Hey, maybe you have good QB play for somebody who's already got big diamond watches.
Yes.
Maybe you do.
I like that. Nick Gavin, Connor, can you guys fix the Mets next? Ugh, not paid enough for that. Sorry.
Nemo, $20. Cleveland Browns have a very fitting name. Hey. Watch it.
Don't mess with the dog pound.
Don't mess with the dog pound. By the way, you saying pound, pause. When in the Discord, in the NFLSC Discord, the first chat post in the Carolina Panthers team channel was "Sup, Pounders."
Oh my god, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Had me in tears. I live in Charlotte. North Carolina. So
Do people walk around saying that?
No, absolutely no one does. But I'm going to address Panthers fans now as I see them in the wild.
I got something that I want you to workshop, or at least trial for me.
Okay.
Next time you're at like a coffee shop,
and
it's gonna be a close call of who gets to the door first. Hold the door open for someone and be like, "Go ahead, Pounder," or you first, Pounder. But pick your audience wisely.
I was gonna say do that and just see how many times it takes for somebody to fist fight me. Yeah, that's what I want.
Or be like, "Hell yeah, brother, thanks," and walk in the door. Oh boy.
Bentley, $5 super chat. I remember listening to Connor debate quarterbacks in 2018 on Stick to Football. Crazy 7 years later, we're still trying to find the guy.
I feel you, Bentley. I feel you. Andrew, thank you for the $10 super chat. Off topic here, but one of my best friends, Jeremiah Cartwright, is following Summerall to Florida as their director of football ops. Wanted to let UF fans know they're getting a good one. RMFW and go Gators.
Let's go, baby. Go Gators.
Nice.
I couldn't be more pumped about the Summerall hire. Truly.
He's got a great Twitter account.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome. And he's a psychopath in the best way possible.
The right way.
You know how Kirby Smart's a psychopath? You know how Dan Lanning's a psychopath?
Dan Lanning is absolutely a crazy person.
John Summerall is a psychopath. And I love it.
I think I feel without like any real like analytical rationale, I feel good about that hire.
Yeah.
A vibes-based hire is what I mean.
I mean, it is a vibes-based hire. Okay, we'll get back to the Browns here in a second. The last one, Brayton, $5 super chat. Please pimp my grandfather returning her. Wait, is this supposed to say returning?
Featuring the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, featuring. Please pimp my grandfather featuring the Indianapolis Colts and the 44-year-old Philip Rivers.
I don't know if they're playing a prank on us, but this looks unbelievable.
I don't know what to think of this. I don't know if I am disgusted by Chris Ballard or if I respect him even more.
Yeah, for not caring.
You know what I'm saying?
What people think.
Yeah. Like, is he just at this point like, yo, I'm fired anyways. Call Philip. Who cares? Let's get him out here. I just hope they called Tom Brady first.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, that's malpractice.
I'm worried for the man's health out there against Seattle.
Dude, if he plays this weekend, he's going to know 0 plays. He's not even going to know the receivers' first names. He's just going to be hucking
calling
it
them by
and
numbers.
chucking it. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Jay in the chat said Trevor Phillips Sikkema. What does that mean? What am I old?
Maybe.
What am I old?
I think it's a hold on one sec. It's a reference to GTA.
Oh, is that the character's name?
Yeah, you're an FPS only guy, so
yeah.
You're not about that life.
I wouldn't have time for this. Too busy ruining people's day on multiplayer. And when I say that, I mean my own. Okay, let's talk about Kevin Stefanski. I think he's staying.
We could operate that way because honestly, too, the conversation with this team that people are probably here for right now is the roster and what we do in the draft with and without Shedeur. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if they did move on from Stefanski, it would be interesting to see what the pool is because you do need to make sure you upgrade over him. And I do think he's a solid to pretty good, damn good NFL head coach. But yeah, we could operate that. We thought Barry's staying, so.
I have some head coach candidates.
We might as well quickly go through them.
If you'd love to view them, if we could show them to
we won't
the
make
here.
the hire.
So we won't make
the hire.
And we could, again, if you like one of these options better and you think that it's realistic, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't. The way that the Browns have currently built the franchise, someone coming in to be head coach under Andrew Berry would have to also be on board with how he operates. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not, if that's not the case, it'd be terrible to fire somebody who has continuity with the front office and how they operate and how they go about things when it comes to signing players into contracts and the strategy that they have for the long term and all that kinds of stuff. You have to find a head coach. It's not just about being a head coach on game days. Like, you have to be a
Right.
part of what the
Right.
organization is doing. So the reason why I'm hesitant to move on from Stefanski is because very clearly he's in on and wants to build the way that they are building it. So if you're not moving on from Andrew Berry, I have a hard time wanting to also fire the head coach, because then you might be totally screwing up the continuity. But that's my take on it. What do you think?
No, I think that's absolutely right. It's which always brings up the combo we have of if you move on from one, why you should potentially move on from the other. And this is a pretty not unique situation, but important situation. I'm laughing at content creator for John Gruden. That's really good. I didn't even see it until the chat was pointing it out.
I mean, he is, right?
He really is. This is a fascinating list too, because it's a lot of big names, right? Like splashy names. Feels like Mike McDaniel is going to make it, huh?
Right. I only threw Mike McDaniel on here because I think the way that McDaniel approaches the game is also very analytical. It's also sort of very aggressive. Like, he's trying to find those like cutting edge ways to do things. And again, if you're moving on from Stefanski, I think you have to have somebody who's willing to do this the way that the Browns have been doing it. And McDaniel strikes me as somebody who could probably play ball with that. So that's why he's on there.
You know, to back your point, Trevor, about maybe retaining this staff.
Oh, geez, somebody said no Dion on this list.
No. Come on now.
No.
I don't even think that would be a good thing for Shedeur. It would just create even more chaos. But you don't want to mess up the defensive side of the ball either.
Yeah.
With Jim Schwartz. I guess there's a world where you can move on from Stefanski and retain Jim Schwartz.
And you would hire Jim Schwartz, maybe.
To be the head coach?
You think? Or no?
No.
I thought that's where you were going.
No. I meant just keep him as DC, even though you moved on from Stefanski. Like, if you hired one of these offensive guys, you're not going to upgrade from Jim Schwartz. So that's another reason to maybe hold on a little bit here with the staff. So what's on your mind there?
No, I agree with you. I think that people look at the Browns situation, and I think that they're obviously really happy with unhappy with the results over the last 2 years specifically, and they want heads to roll because of it. But I'm just not convinced that totally changing things just for the sake of changing things is actually the better way to do it. I don't mind how Andrew Berry is going about the contracts for this team. I actually think that it's a really innovative and aggressive way to navigate the entire salary cap. The defense is straight up one of the best defenses in the NFL. 100% they are.
And it's got young talent.
The offense is really bad right now, and if I've got a big complaint of this team, it's the fact that they've let the offensive line get to where they currently are. But when we get into the contracts here in a second, there's also sort of a reason for that. So I will defer to you on this one. Obviously, the Game of Thrones mob in the chat wants Kevin Stefanski gone. What do you think about this situation? You said that you were kind of 50-50 with it, right, when we started this show. Where are you now after sort of looking at the list of head coaches that could be possible for this team?
Well, I think that the big issue here could be that this might be mutual, right? He might just no longer align with the way they're doing things.
Could be.
Especially if his agent gets any chatter that there's other opportunities out there for him that he might like better. And the Browns will be like, that's fine. Maybe for the sake of this, we do. The thing that I want to emphasize, though, if we hire one of these offensive minds, I want to retain Jim Schwartz. And I don't see why he'd want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you want to? Like, you have all this talent on defense. You're doing a great job.
You have Myles Garrett.
So I don't think it's unrealistic to retain him.
Kevin gave us a $5 super chat, said he's top 5 to 10 in penalties every year under Stefanski, garbage special teams every year that blows
Special
games.
teams horrible.
And bottom 3 offense in the NFL in every metric. This year, for sure, he definitely is. I haven't looked up the penalties and things like that, but... All right, if you're leaning towards anybody, who would it be?
I mean, we don't think Steichen's actually getting fired, right? I don't think Mike McDaniel is.
I don't think Mike McDaniel is. I don't think that he's going to be available.
I'm not hiring Joe Brady or Matt Nagy.
It would be strange for the Colts to fire Shane Steichen, given the fact that they were so good, and then Daniel Jones got hurt, and now they're going to miss the playoffs. But I think
you need a quarterback developer here.
Right. It has, and that's the other thing is I basically only listed off like Jesse Minter, great candidate.
Yeah,
Jeff Hafley, great candidate. But
he's a great Hafley.
What'd you say?
You always said he's a great Hafley.
I mean, he's a great Hafley.
One of the better Hafleys out there.
He's one of the best. One of the best Hafleys. But I just don't know how you're hiring a defensive head coach at this point.
No.
So those are the guys that came. To be honest with you, like, unless you like John Gruden.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting back in.
I don't know who you fire Stefanski for.
This is the issue.
Right.
This is the exact issue. I mean,
somebody said Chip Kelly. No, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
is this
not.
a Mike McCarthy destination?
Mike McCarthy could work.
Keep Jim Schwartz. Hire Mike McCarthy.
If you could tell me that you get to keep Jim Schwartz and Mike McCarthy gets to be the head coach, I'd be all right with that. People are saying, why not Joe Brady?
Bills fans don't even like Joe Brady.
I don't think Joe Brady is like the home run hire that obviously he's in a lot of these conversations because I think he's an option. But if you hire Joe Brady, you're hiring a much younger head coach. Maybe Jim Schwartz would stay on the staff, but if McCarthy's the head coach, I feel like Schwartz maybe has a stronger desire to stay on the staff.
Here's my take with Joe Brady. I don't believe that Joe Brady is going to be a better coach in this league than Kevin Stefanski.
See, that's exact. Yes. Yeah.
And isn't that what this comes down to?
Thank you. Thank you for getting us back on track here.
Right.
That's why I said the John Gruden thing. And I was like, if you believe in John Gruden, then I could understand you wanting him instead of Kevin Stefanski. But if Steichen's not getting fired, if Mike McDaniel's not getting fired, maybe Kubiak. I love Kubiak. He's had a great last 2 years, but what's the guarantee that Kubiak's going to be better than Stefanski?
Right.
If you wanted to do Mike McCarthy, I could see that.
I think that's one that I
Josh McDaniels.
I could talk myself into. I mean, to be fair to that, he would be good for a young quarterback here.
I also think that.
But we have seen time and time again it hasn't worked with him in the big dog's chair.
Whoa, who? What? What do you mean?
Josh McDaniels.
Oh, I thought you were talking about McCarthy. I was like, wait a second.
No.
Wait, McCarthy's been a big dog barking before these guys were born. Some of these young guns were born.
He is the big dog.
That's what I'm saying. See, Kevin's saying y'all are acting like Stefanski's a good head coach. I don't know, man.
But what is the solution? That's not, and I do
Yeah.
think Stefanski's at least a solid coach in this league.
I do too.
Trust me, you could always do a lot worse. The Titans have learned. It is ironic when we're talking about Kubiak because as somebody pointed out in the chat, and this was going through my mind as you were talking about him from Mark Martin, Kubiak runs his dad's schemes, and so does Stefanski.
By the way, somebody in the chat, I think it was Greg, was yelling at us that Stefanski is a defensive guru, not an offensive guru, because he played defensive back when he was in college. Stefanski's background is, once he got into position coaching, he was a tight ends coach for the Vikings from 2014 to 2015. He was the running backs coach in 2016. He was their quarterbacks coach from 2017 to 2018. He was the interim offensive coordinator in 2018. He was their offensive coordinator in 2019, and now he's a head coach of the Browns. He's never coached on the defense side of the ball. Always been on the offense side of the ball.
He was on the Vikings offensive staff for over a decade.
Right. Yeah.
What do we...
No, he just because he did play DB in college. He was
Yeah,
a
which
DB.
is sick, but
Yeah, it's sick.
that doesn't mean like Robert Saleh played tight end. Nobody looks at Robert Saleh and goes offensive mastermind.
Just a tight end mastermind.
Right.
Just an arm day mastermind.
Yeah. And a shiny bald head. Greased up bald head.
All right, you make the call, and we'll move on to the roster.
Oh, boy. Chad has me in a pretzel right now.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
Do they? I don't know.
You got to follow your heart. You got to follow your heart.
We're keeping Stefanski.
We're keeping Stefanski. We're running it back, folks. Three years of drought for the Browns. Fix your franchise, and we get to this point, and we keep both of the guys that got them there. That's what the people tune in for, baby. It was the heel turn of the century.
I took off my NWO shirt, and there was an NWO shirt underneath it. Oh, man.
Oh, we just Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin Music, Ric Flair there, baby.
RW Brillo goes, you guys are getting paid? So Jelly Boy brings up a name that I'd be very intrigued to be on.
Oh, Brian Daboll?
Not as the head coach, but I'd be very intrigued by Brian Daboll to work with young quarterbacks on this staff.
Yeah, you could turn Shedeur into a battering ram.
Shedeur, hear me out. When your first read's not open, lower your head at a linebacker.
Coach, they said we can't make the helmet as a weapon. Nah. They changed that this year. You're good.
Have you seen Jackson Dart's little brother? Or, yeah.
No, what's
younger brother.
No,
Diesel?
I'm
not kidding.
No.
I know.
You're lying.
Dude, Diesel Dart.
Diesel Dart? There's
Yep.
no way.
Guess what he plays?
Okay, it's
Diesel
either,
Dart. Where do you think he plays?
It's either quarterback or pass rusher.
Safety. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Somebody said he plays GTA.
Probably not. Yep, there he is, Diesel. He's like Jackson, just with more creatine and protein.
He looks just like Jackson.
But with more protein.
But just with more creatine and protein. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Is Diesel his legal name?
Yeah.
Or is it one of those, first name Diesel Dart?
No, I really think that's what's on his birth certificate. Diesel.
That's insane.
Yep.
He's a recruit, right? Isn't he in high school still?
Yeah, he's a recruit. He's playing, I think he's going to be on ESPN2 this week for a national championship.
Wisco said, what a waste of a name. He hadn't played in the league yet. Hold on. He can prove himself.
Dude, I think he's got offers or at least interest by like Arizona and
What
Auburn.
if he's the White Camp Chancellor? Then what?
Right?
Then the name checks out.
Oh, man.
Diesel, Dart.
Yeah, folks, you heard it here.
I can't with you people.
Yeah, you people are out of control.
Oh man, what if his actually Noah's chat made me think of this? What if his name was, instead of Jackson, Jacked Dart?
He should go by that.
So it's Jackson and Jacked, and obviously this one would work out because he's got more creatine and protein.
Jacked and Diesel. The Legion of Diesel.
The Legion of Diesel. All right, we've gone too far.
Yeah,
all right.
I totally screwed us there.
Okay, let's get into the roster here. This is, I think, really the good conversation here before we get into the draft. Projected starting lineup that we have for this team. Quarterback, I just put question marks because I don't know, but Shedeur, right? Like, I think that he's probably the most likely to be the quarterback of any.
Playing for that right now.
100%. I love the running back duo. I think Judkins and Sampson are a fantastic 1-2 duo here for this team.
I feel very good about that backfield.
So I like those guys. Wide receiver 1, not sure that we have one of those guys because I don't really think that Jerry Jeudy is reliable enough to be. But
No.
Jeudy is going to be on this team next year. I'll get into the contracts in a second. Harold Fannin Jr. is the tight end. Isaiah Bond is at wide receiver 3. I think this is where things get really confusing with this team. And I'll talk about Andrew Berry's contract strategy a little bit more here in a second. But Connor, I have no idea who starts on the offensive line for this team next year.
That's the consistent issue.
Because I thought Jack Conklin was at least under contract for next year. He's not. I didn't realize this. They reworked his contract to where he became a free agent this spring instead of next spring. So now you have Jack Conklin, Wyatt Teller, Joel Bitonio, and Ethan Posick. All of them are unrestricted free agents coming up. And the problem with all of them, Connor, is that because of the way the contracts are structured, they have void years after this, where if they are not on the roster, all of the void year money that is spread out accelerates and hits dead cap all at once. So the idea is that you like these players enough to where you're never having to deal with that issue. You are re-signing them and you are extending them to activate those void years and turn them into real contract years instead of void years that can all accelerate if these guys aren't on the roster. But the problem is, they're not good. This is one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah, and it's aged a lot too.
So we are sitting here in a situation where I'm going to read off these numbers to you really quick. If these guys are not on the roster in, I think the roster bonuses are like February or March or something like that. Essentially, if they let them hit free agency and walk, if they go, Teller, you've been great for us. You're not what you used to be. We're going to let you walk. Joel Bitonio, you were great for us. You're not where you used to be. We're going to let you walk. Same thing with Conklin. Wyatt Teller, if they do that, negative, he is a 21.5 dead cap hit. Joel Bitonio, $23.5 million cap hit. Jack Conklin, $13.9 million cap hit. You are taking on, I think that's almost $75 million of dead cap if you move on from the offensive linemen who have not been good for your team. So they're in a situation where I have question marks up here for these players, but the fact of the matter is they basically have to re-sign Teller, Bitonio, and probably Conklin for at least 1-year deals.
And rework the deal.
Or else they're screwed.
Well, I have no problem bringing Bitonio back, even at 34 years old. I think he's fine right now.
All right.
I think Teller is an interesting combo. Conklin, who's always hurt. I mean, how many games has Conklin missed now?
So somebody said that Bitonio is going to retire. So if Bitonio retires...
That's a good point. He's 34.
Right,
yeah.
Right. I think they're fine if he retires. Like, if these guys retire, it's a different story. If they retire, I think that the cap is much more manageable for these guys.
Yeah, so there goes that.
But...
So they need an entire new offensive line.
Yeah, yes. And
Reverend Sal goes, all this sounds awful. Yeah, because it is.
Yeah, and Steve in the chat is he's saying what the crux of the issue is. The contracts aren't the issue. The issue is that they're not good. If these were good players, they'd actually be in really nice situations to extend them and continue their contracts. But because they're not good, it makes it tougher to move on from those players, which makes you really have to nail player evaluation. Projected starters on the defensive side of the ball. Malik Collins, I know he's out for the year this year, but he's still under contract for next year. Mason Graham next to him. Myles Garrett, who's playing at an all-world level right now. Isaiah McGuire, who I think is a really good run defender for them. Carson Swessinger at one of the linebacker spots. They have Devin Bush, who's playing really well this year, but he's hitting unrestricted free agency, so maybe they let him walk if they think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is going to get back, because if so, then obviously you feel good about him manning that second linebacker spot. Denzel Ward, Tyson Campbell, maybe Miles Harden in the slot because he's been playing in the slot this year. Grant Delpit at one of the safety spots. And then Ronnie Hickman Jr. has been playing pretty well this season. He is technically a restricted free agent for them. He's playing good, so I think they'll bring it back. I think they will bring him back. So, Connor, I think the defense is pretty much locked up.
And what's even more amazing, this is the total opposite combo of the offensive line dilemma we just faced. He's hurt right now, but they also have Aiden Huntington on this defensive line rotation, who's been a great find.
Right.
They were so loaded in camp that they traded Juwan Briggs to the Jets for pennies, who starts for the Jets now. That's how loaded they were up front. They didn't have a roster spot for him because of what they found in Aiden Huntington and what they have on this roster. So for all the problems we just brought up with their offense, this makes you feel really good. There's not a lot of work to do here.
Yeah. Ramey saying Devin Bush has been gold for them. He really has. I mean,
it's crazy.
Their defense,
bust of all busts.
Yeah, their defense is incredible. And again, like going back to replacing the head coach, I think that Jim Schwartz's place in this organization means a lot to what they do at head coach. Like if Jim Schwartz goes, nah, Kevin Stefanski's my guy, and if you replace him, I'm out of here.
Right.
That would weigh pretty heavily in whether or not you want to give Stefanski another year. But yeah, so that's the roster that I have there. Team needs, that sets up for quarterback being a question mark for them, but then essentially wide receiver, the entire offensive line, and then maybe corner, maybe. But you got Emerson coming back from injury next year, so he can man one of those outside spots. You feel good about maybe any of those guys being able to play in the slot a little bit. You got Miles Harden, so corner's sort of like a maybe, but not really.
Well, let's try to fix this offense then.
Okay, really quickly, cap space. They have negative $26.5 million in effective cap space right now. That's 28th most, obviously. It's what you would think is towards the bottom of the list. They have 45 players under contract for 2026. The thing is, like I said, they navigate, which shout out to Cam. Cam is in the chat right now. Cam, I forgot your last name, but Cam addict of the pod, has sent Connor and I Google Sheets and YouTube videos of him walking us through cap for the Cleveland Browns, which has been the Browns and so many other teams, which has been unbelievably helpful. So shout out to Cam for that. He's been an incredible resource here. I hope I'm not letting him down with how I'm explaining these cap contracts here for the Browns. But you have of the free agents. Oh yeah. No. This is the right slide. Let's stick on this slide. They are $26.5 million over the cap right now. If they restructure the guys that you see on the screen, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Jerry Jeudy, Grant Delpit, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Malik Collins, they save $30 million right there. Boom, you're cap compliant. You're good. And then if you sign the guys that I talked about, Wyatt Teller, Joel Bitonio, David Njoku, Jack Conklin, if you sign all of those guys, it's another 30-ish million depending on how you extend the contracts and things like that. Because Njoku is in a situation where he's not going to sign like just for 1 year for you. You're going to have to sign him to a multi-year thing because he's a really good tight end. So that one's a little bit different, but they will be able to get cap compliant pretty quickly, and they will have the ability to do that. As for Deshaun Watson, Watson's contract is a little bit interesting. I do not think they are cutting Deshaun Watson this offseason. They don't have the cap to be able to do it, and it wouldn't make sense for them to do it. Essentially, what you would be doing at that point, because his dead cap hit is so heavy, is I think it's like an $88 million dead cap hit if they cut him in March of this year. And if you leave him on the roster, wait until next year, post June 1, cut him after that, then I think that you can spread out the dead cap hit and it's just like $20-ish million in 2027 and then 20 in 2028 and you're good to go and he's no longer on the roster. But he's going to be on the roster for this team next year because they're essentially just they're getting an extra $30 million in cap space just to have Deshaun Watson take up one roster spot for them. And they're going to take that every time because that's how they've done the contracts. So he is on the team next year. They will post June 1 cut him the year after that in 2027. And then they will be able to spread out the remainder of his dead cap hit, which I believe is like $26-ish million each year, the next 2 years. So, yeah.
Insane getting through that deal.
Yeah.
So the question is, will they have enough money to at least get one starter on the offensive line in free agency?
Yes, I think so.
I think so too.
I really do think so. Because the restructures alone, which are moves that they were always going to make no matter what, that automatically gets you cap compliant. And then if Bitonio retires, they get some sort of cap relief.
Right.
They'll re-sign Teller. They'll re-sign Conklin. And that, again, right there will give them an extra like $20 million to work with right there. Depending on if they bring back David Njoku, they could get even more off of that because, again, you're looking at what their dead cap hit would have been anyways versus an extension that you're giving them. So you're giving yourself some cap relief even by extending the player or signing them to a new deal. So, yes, I do think that they could get one or two new offensive linemen in free agency. I really do. Or to be honest with you, dude, maybe even more than that. This team spends a lot of money every single year because of how they do these deals.
And and cash, they say what you want about the Browns. They spend cash as well from the owner.
Right. That's the thing. The owners are willing to put up the cash. Yes. Yeah. So here's the Browns free agents that I have. These are just some free agents from around the league. This is their free agency class. These are the guys that are free agents for them this year. But the free agent targets for them, it's a lot of the same names that we've talked about, right?
Yep.
Braden Smith, Rasheed Walker.
That's a big one for me. That makes sense for them.
Which one?
Rasheed Walker. Because I think he gives you pass pro at left tackle in front of a young quarterback. And I think Green Bay has enough. They know how to restock their offensive line that they will let him walk.
So Rasheed Walker is one of them. Elijah Vera Tucker I have on here. Dylan Parham I have on here if they want to lean more into like zone blocking scheme stuff. I think that he can make sense. I got a couple of wide receivers to maybe add, like Olamide Zaccheaus is playing well for Chicago. Tyquan Thornton if you want to get a deep threat type of a player in there. Jahan Dotson maybe if you just kind of want to take a chance on him and maybe he's a good depth receiver for you. But they have enough, I think, depth receivers. They really need a star receiver, to be honest with you.
Right. That's yeah. They have, like you said, Tillman, when he plays, is fine depth receiver. He's just been hurt a lot. Bad concussions at the end of last year.
So let's say
they got to draft a star.
So let's say they're bringing back Conklin. Conklin will play one of the offensive tackle spots. Teller will play one of the other offensive guard spots. So we basically have center, and I mean they have Luke Whippler. So if we'll see what he looks like down the stretch here the last month. He could potentially be their starting center. But you basically have at least 2, maybe 3 O-line spots that you need to have new players in no matter what. Who on this list? Pick 2 guys on this list that you think are realistic for this team to go after, and we'll sign him here.
Walker at left tackle.
Okay. All right.
I think he has a good chance to get to the market. He plays left tackle, and they really need a left tackle. So, Rasheed Walker at left tackle.
Yep.
The reason why we usually love AVT for every team, I don't love him for this team, is their problem on the offensive line is guys are always hurt.
Right.
So you're going to go out and give big money that you had to clear cap space for a guy that's always hurt? I don't know, man. If you need a stopgap center, Josh Myers has shown this year he could be a stopgap bridge center.
They need more of a guard, though, right? Well,
it depends what they think of Whippler.
Yeah, right. I mean,
we don't know what they think of him yet.
Yeah.
But Walker would be the guy I would stamp for this team just to have left tackle filled with a pro that's 26 years old.
Okay. All right. So we've got Rasheed Walker in one of the spots. Somebody in the chat was talking about wide receivers, which they were talking about Juwan Jennings, which made me think of this. What about Brandon Ayuk?
Interesting.
Right?
It's not crazy because he's a number 1. You get him on a little bit of a damaged goods discount.
Right, because I don't know exactly what's going to happen here because
he will not be on the Niners.
No, I don't think he'll be on the Niners, but in what way is he not on the Niners is sort of the question here. Do they just, because I believe I read that all the guarantees are voided on his contract.
They're just going to cut him.
So they can just cut him.
They're just going to cut him. I think
that Jelly's saying Ayuk and Judy are similar. Ayuk is better, I think, clearly.
I mean, they need to draft. They need to draft a high-end receiver. That much is clear to me.
Yeah. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Okay, Rasheed Walker is one of the picks here, and then...
Yeah, that was mine. I'll let you pick another one.
I like Dylan Parham. I know Raiders fans don't like him, but I'll take him as a depth guard. I think he could at least be a starter for you. So let's go Rasheed Walker. Let's go Dylan Parham. And then let's get into this draft.
Yes, let's do it. We got 2 drafts to do.
Actually, before we do that, got to pay the bills. Got to pay the bills here. There's future draft picks. You guys can see that. Our game plan of the week, folks, presented by Western Southern Financial Group. A game plan for your financial future. Talk about the Buffalo Bills. Leaning into the tight end passing game, heavy tight end sets. That's what I'm going to see this week. They've been one of the best offenses in the NFL when it comes to targeting the tight end position. They got the highest EPA per play. Well, not the highest, second highest, I should say. EPA per play when they are targeting the tight end spots. Third most receiving yards, 2 tight ends. Since week 10 in the NFL, it's time to lean into it. We're talking about all the frustrations of the Buffalo Bills and their wide receiver group. Just don't worry about it. Just put 3 tight ends on there. We got Jackson Hawes, we got Dawson Knox, we got Dalton Kincaid. Lean into it. That's our game plan of the week. Just like every team win starts with a great game plan, your future should as well. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps you protect you and your family so that you can focus on winning today, knowing that tomorrow is covered. Whether you're just starting out, building your dynasty, or looking to lock in long-term protection, their coverage options are designed to match your game plan. Visit westernsouthern.com/PFF to get your free life quote and start building your financial game plan today. Western and Southern, built to win, backed by over 130 years of helping people protect what matters most. Let's do the mock draft and then we'll knock out a lot of super chats when we get to the end of the show.
Yep.
Sound good? Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's pull up the mock draft simulator. So we're gonna do 2 different Cleveland Brown mock drafts here. The first one, well, I guess we can let the board fall to us as we want to. But essentially, one is with Shedeur as the quarterback. One is with a quarterback need. So let's get right to it. Let's do a 3-round mock. Wait, Tyler, you gotta do 3 rounds. There we go. I saw it right there. I didn't want to get too excited about whoever we were going to have at number 4. Just to have the rug pulled out from underneath us. All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Ruben Bain, Fernando Mendoza, Peter Woods off the board.
Any wide receiver of our choice.
Also, Dante Moore still here. So
That's interesting.
Would we want this to be the draft? Well, for the draft with a quarterback, do we want them to have to trade up to go get one?
No. Not if it falls into our lap here. Let's use the advantage while we can.
No, but I'm saying, like, for a realistic standpoint, do we think that, like, Moore and Mendoza are going 1 and 2? So we could, like, pick a wide receiver here for this one, and then the next.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
We're, like, trading up, you see?
Yep.
So do you. Well, we signed Rasheed Walker. We still need a long-term offensive tackle, I think.
Right, but we don't need to do it at 4.
We certainly don't have to do it at 4. It's not really that type of an offensive tackle class. So do you like Tyson the most here?
I could be talked into Carnell Tate here too.
Man. Carnell Tate at 4. We did that for the mock draft, the full mock draft that we did on Monday.
That's right. Keep him in Ohio. Fans will love him. I think his size is something that this wide receiver room needs.
Somebody in the chat's asking us, as of now, is Dante Moore in or out?
We are going to find out in the college football playoff.
I say right now he's in.
I agree with you. And remember, we were kind of a couple weeks ago, like, it feels like this is starting to turn. His offensive coordinator left.
Justin's saying, I'm bringing the U-Haul now.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking Carnell Tate.
Okay.
This show sometimes does please the people.
Chat saying that Tyson's too hurt.
It's unfortunately going to be a thing with him. I'm not saying he's not going to go in the top 10. It's just going to be a never-ending combo.
So Carnell Tate obviously having a fantastic year. I think there's only one game this season where he is graded below a 70 as a receiver grade. Yeah, right there. The Grambling game, which he didn't even play a lot.
Right. When they played them, they're like, get out of there after 3 drives.
Yeah. Look at the contested catch rate. Unbelievable from him. Just such a sure-handed player. I don't know if he's
impressed with his route running.
Oh, extremely.
For a guy his size, I'm like, damn, his footwork, he is putting so much time.
The cuts that he has on some of these routes are
crazy.
They're a thing of beauty. I can't wait to see what he runs at the combine because as of right now, like, I think he's a good athlete. I don't think he's like a great athlete, which I'm a little bit hesitant on picking guys super high that aren't like elite athletes, but Tate is so productive. I mean, just the last 2 years, I think he's been fantastic. He's a younger receiver. He's only getting better. Low moving costs, 0 drops. You see the drop right there, 0 drops this season. All right, we can go with Carnell Tate here at the top.
All right, this one's for the people.
Keep him home. 27 now. I basically don't need any defensive players. And that's all we have, so. No,
that's great.
Can we see O-line?
Oh, right.
Vega just went. I hate it.
That was exactly what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, that would have been. Okay, we got options. We got options here for offensive line. James said, Mr. Connor and Mr. Trevor, is there any way that the Browns trade up to the number 1 pick? We will explore that in the second mock draft that we do right after this. You like any of these guys?
No.
Stefanski typically does the zone rushing scheme.
Yes.
And so for that, I don't Dunker and Saraveld, I can be talked into here.
Saraveld is the one that interests me, even if it's a smidge early. Upside at actual tackle would be Lomu. Mm-hmm. Caleb Lomu from Utah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'd probably take Lomu here.
I think you're right.
Even if you get into a situation where like Conklin has a really good camp, you have him as a starter. Like Lomu's a young player. I think Lomu's only a redshirt sophomore. There's not even a guarantee that Lomu's even in this class. But if he is in, I think that you set up a situation where he's sitting behind Conklin for the only year that Conklin's going to be there.
Which means he'll be starting in 7 weeks.
Essentially.
Right? Like, I mean, it's a tough reality you face.
Roy said, wait a second, hold on here. Wait. Roy said in the chat, Tate and Saraveld can share the U-Haul, even lower moving costs.
It is absolute brilliance, Roy.
Somebody said, did Trevor draft for the Lions? And I was like, what does that mean? Oh, they picked Kenyon Sadiq. You guys just, you guys just hate on the tight end movement. It's all right. You'll come around.
That's a nice catch.
Listen, everybody will come around.
That's a really nice catch.
You tell me the Raiders aren't better this year with Tyler Warren right out there. Because I'll tell you you're lying. I think we should go with Caleb Lomu here.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So I like these first 2 picks here. Obviously, they're picking very quickly in the second round, at the top of the second round, because it's this 4th pick. So we've got a wide receiver. We've got a wide receiver, and we got an offensive lineman. So we have flexibility. I think that I could be talked into double dipping either of those positions once again. Saraveld is still there.
Damn, that's kind of nice.
But then you starting to get into like, Chris Bell is still here. Elijah Surratt is still here. Wide receiver from Louisville and wide receiver from Indiana. Yep. I don't think I'd take Jacoby Lane because I like what Tillman could be. What have you watched Tillman a lot this year?
Not as much this year. He's missed a lot of time.
I haven't either. I still have faith in him.
He looked so good last year before he got the concussion.
Yeah, I still got faith in him.
It looks like, hey, is this guy going to be our long-term number 2 once we get a number 1 here?
I think they could go another.
Saraveld being there is very enticing to me.
Yeah, I like Saraveld. I really
too.
do.
He's had a really good year. I watched the Mendoza tape of the Big Ten championship game this morning. I got to watch the line tape, the battle, because Indiana and Ohio State, their trenches are so good. So I got to watch the all 22 of the trenches of that game.
What do you think?
Saraveld for me.
Okay. All right. So they can't. All right. So
we had a 20-minute combo that nobody's left to play offensive line next year.
That's great. Hey, look, you don't.
Sorry, I'm yelling at you. I'm sorry, I'm yelling at you.
Heavily investing in the offensive line. I'm all about it. Let's pick Saraveld. Let's get Saraveld there. 36. So now we've double dipped on the offensive line. We got 2 guys we really like. One guy who's probably a long-term guard for you because Saraveld plays tackle for Ohio State, but I think that there's a chance that he could be a guard in the NFL. And then you've got Lomu, who is a very tradesy toolsy offensive tackle who might have the benefit of being able to sit a little bit, and he could be your starting offensive tackle in the future when Jack Conklin is no longer on the roster. This one's sort of, this is a freebie here. I feel like we've got a lot of flexibility now that we've double dip on offensive line and we have Carnell Tate.
It is nice to have a little flexibility. Man, do we look at safety? I know I know this is a defense.
I think they'll re-sign Hickman. So then that will be a restructure on Delpit, a re-signing of Hickman Jr. I mean, I like these safeties.
That's what caught my eye. I was like, I see a lot of people in the chat want Skylar Bell.
I don't hate that.
No, yeah, I have finished watching him for our wide receiver episode. He's got I said it before jokingly about UConn building the whole plane out of Skylar Bell. He's a fun watch. Their offense is like, let's throw a screen and then pitch the ball on 2nd and 4.
Sam in the chat says Max Clare, and then you just get a party bus to pick him up instead of a U-Haul.
I love it. The transportation just keeps getting bigger. We sent the 30-person limousine to pick up all our draft picks from Ohio State.
I don't mind Skylar Bell here, man.
I'm down with Scott. He's kind of like a BPA-ish approach in this spot.
Yeah.
Which, no problem with BPA offense for the Browns all day.
Because all of a sudden, if you have Carnell Tate, Jerry Jeudy, Skylar Bell, Isaiah Bond, Cedric Tillman, like somebody's working out there with those 5 guys. And then you're probably re-signing David Njoku, I think.
Maybe.
So you're going to have David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr. back as well. You feel good about the offensive line investments. You got 2 offensive linemen in free agency, and you got 2 offensive linemen with your top 40 picks in the draft.
You know who the chat wants?
Who's the chat want?
My guy, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. The safety from Toledo.
Talk me into him.
I mean, he could play a lot of different roles. He's looked really good downhill this year. He has experience playing free safety and the slot a little bit. Big hitter, forces a ton of fumbles. Like fits the Jim Schwartz aggressive turnover kind of based guy. He's got some range. I'd like to see him finish a couple more interception plays, but he has been able to get takeaways. But just physical safety with size that can handle a lot of different roles. And he's in Toledo, as the chat pointed out.
That's very true. It's very true.
He's a player.
I think Toledo...
I don't know how they keep doing this, Toledo, but he's a player.
Yeah. DBU, they're calling it.
I would not argue against anyone that wants to say it.
I don't think they need a safety, but if you really like the player, I think drafting...
It's definitely a luxury pick.
I think drafting good players are, important to the draft strategy. So I'd be okay with this.
I just think he's really good.
We can take him.
Okay.
All right. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Yeah. We'll take him here. So we've got Carnell Tate, Caleb Lomu, Austin Saraveld, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Mike McCarthy obviously giving us a bad grade here for this mock draft.
He didn't get the job.
Because he didn't get the job. Yeah, he's listening to the show live, and so he was obviously he took that very personally. So that's our first draft of rolling into next year with Shedeur Sanders as our quarterback. Let's do one more mock draft. Let's trade up to number 1, I would say, so we can enter the draft and then just don't hit start yet on it. Yeah, right here. Let's go. What do you think it costs to get to? What's the draft value? Let's see how many points.
Oh, man.
We are 1,200 points. Huh!
It's
Which is, I mean, that's going to cost us probably 127. You're not going to give up the 2. It might cost a 3 this year and a 3 next year.
It feels like we're on the what's it called? Pawn Stars. Best I could do.
Yeah, the best I could do. Or a future second. So Gail saying a future second. You think we could do that?
Yeah, I think we could do that. Because we got to use some picks this year to fix this damn line. Man, it's tough business.
I don't know if this gets it done, but let's, for the
either.
sake of the exercise, we could do it. We could do it. Because if you stick at 4, if you stay at 4, you're not... Here's the problem for the Browns. We don't really have a choice because we're exploring this scenario, and obviously I think that's a good thing to do. We're realizing how grim it might be to move up to number 1. And if the Raiders have the number 2 overall pick, you're not going to be able to get to 2 to trade with them because they're going to take the other quarterback. So you kind of have to just pay the price here. So yeah, let's go both first rounders this year and a second and third next year, and let's do it. Let's mail it in. Oh shoot, what happened?
We didn't get it. What happened?
Oh, Tyler did what I do all the time, where I think he hit the big button that says start draft instead of force the trade. And that happens to me all the time. Yeah, Tyler, just restart it. So we'll pick the Browns 3-round mock. Tyler, that's not on you. That's not on you.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, there you go. So that's he hit start draft because that's the big blue button that I hit all the time when we have to hit force trade first. So there we go. Now we're at number 1. The Mendoza, I'm guessing.
It's the Mendoza here. Yep.
Okay. All right. We're taking the Mendoza, quarterback for Indiana.
To the flippin' Browns.
Big Ten champion. So here is our second round pick.
They're calling him Tyler Simmer instead of Tyler Cook in the chat.
No, come on. You can't go after our chef like that.
No.
Not in this Michelin
Will not be
house.
tolerated.
No. So the offensive linemen that we picked are still there. We have the opportunity to get one of them if we really like those guys.
Or do we just do something different and take Proctor, even if we're questioning the scheme fit?
No, I don't like that.
I know.
I think we'll probably either take Lomu or Saraveld or a wide receiver. We're taking one of the wide receivers here.
Well, let's see the board on that. Surratt.
Dude, I think that...
It's not crazy. It's not crazy at all.
Awesome.
It's phenomenal. The timing between them is amazing.
Once again, low moving costs.
Okay.
I think we should... So... Just for everybody out there, we could pick another offensive lineman here. I don't hate that strategy, but let's go for Surratt. Let's keep the connection.
The Mendoza-Surratt connection.
Yeah.
And now we got to take offensive line.
And now we do have to take.
There's no way around it.
Big Citrus, who could play both ways, of course.
Probably Blake Miller here.
Oh hell yeah, baby!
Yeah.
I always believed.
You got your wish. This is an ultimate Trevor draft,
dude. Blake Miller. Now, Dylan Stewart's been banged up this year, the pass rusher for South Carolina. Dylan Stewart's been banged up. He's been dealing with, I think, like a hip or an oblique injury. But I got to watch Clemson, South Carolina in person. And Blake Miller very much was the better of that matchup between those two players. And they went one-on-one a lot in that first half. So, again, I think Stewart's beat up, but Miller handled him pretty good in that game. So I think we should go Blake Miller here. People who have been listening to this podcast know that I've been a big fan of his for the last 2 years. And I think he's a top 100 pick this year. Absolutely. All right. Fernando Mendoza, Elijah Surratt, Blake Miller. And we don't have a second and third rounder next year. You guys,
it's cost of doing business.
It is the cost of doing business. Okay, so there it is. Fixing the Browns. Unfortunately, we did not give in to the mob mentality. Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, they are still here as the coaches. And what we're trying to do is we're just trying to make the roster better. In the free agency scenario, we brought back Jack Conklin, Wyatt Teller, because we kind of have to because of the contract situation that those guys are in. We think that Joel Bitonio is going to retire. We brought in Rasheed Walker and Dylan Parham for the offensive line. Didn't make any additions to the wide receiver spot. And then we have, obviously, the true drafts that we just showed you there. Carnell Tate, Austin Saraveld, Caleb Lomu, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren was the first one. And we're rolling with Shedeur Sanders in that scenario. Or the other one is we're moving on. We're getting Fernando Mendoza. He's the quarterback. We're getting Elijah Surratt there with him. And Blake Miller at the offensive line. Let us know. Let us know which scenario you liked best. Which draft strategy. Any conversation that we had here during this Pimp Your Franchise for the Cleveland Browns. We would love to hear from you guys. Best way to do that, youtube.com/@NFL Stock Exchange in the comments section. Also on the Discord. Join the Discord channel and get in on the talk about this episode and so much more. We'd love to see you guys in there. We'll include the link here in the description for this show. Connor, I don't know how much time you have afterwards, but after the episode, we could do an after the episode thing and run through a lot of super chats for people, however much time you got. But anything else before we end the episode as we put a bow on it.
Yeah, if you're in the live and you want to stay on and hear the super chats, just stay with us and we'll get to those. But a lot of fun fixing the Browns. I thought both mocks actually came out even better than I expected, considering what we needed. I was pretty happy with the results and how the board fell for this one. It's not always kind to us. It was today. But yeah, if you want to stick around for the super chats, please do, everybody. And join the Discord.
Join the Discord. We're having a lot of fun in there. And if you enjoyed this episode or anything that we've done here on the show, we would love for you to subscribe. Dude, you realize how close we are to 50K?
I just realized Monday.
We are so close to 50K subscribers on the channel.
That's unreal. It's a big shout out to the chef in the back, by the way.
Huge shout out to the chef for just taking our show to new heights. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to grow with you guys from the very beginning to this point. We would love to get to 50K before the end of the year. It would be a cool milestone for us, and honestly, just for the NFLSC community. We'd love to continue to see it grow. So let's get to it. Let's get to 50K. Like Connor said, if you're still in the live chat here on the show, after the episode starts in a few seconds, we'll get to some of the super chats that were left over. But for Tyler Cook, the chef behind the scenes, making it all happen, for Connor Rogers, I'm Trevor Sikkema saying thank you guys so much for watching and listening to another episode of the NFL Stock Exchange Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.